Your page talks about a number of different subjects, but money is tied into so many different things. The
Hmm.
way we end up using money can often be a reflection of the way we've been treated or the way we treat ourselves.
Hmm.
That's what I kind of picked up about your page.
Hmm.
It caught my attention to the point that I asked you to join me so you can share more of what you know and what you've experienced with others that may be going through the same thing. It may not apply to everyone, but
Hmm.
I wanted you to talk about it because it's going to apply to someone.
Hmm.
So I have to ask you this. I'm not going to start with money, but in a way I am, because I'm going to ask you about emotional abuse, or in other words, romantic relationships. How is money and romantic relationships, emotional abuse, do they kind of overlap, or is there any connection that you have recognized or seen?
Yeah. Um, the big connection that I've seen is that, especially, first of all, a lot of divorces, I think the top five reasons for divorce, money comes up as one of them. And so what I discovered when working with my money issues is that money in our culture, it represents power, it represents freedom. Those are two of the biggies. And also it represents a sense of security, where our trust lies. So you're
Okay.
dealing with three big things when it cut with money that also show up in our relationships, right? Like trust is a huge thing. Like it's really hard to be with a partner that doesn't trust you or doesn't trust the
Yes.
relationship.
Hmm.
And then and when it comes to freedom and power, that if you are not a person that can own your power and your autonomy in the relationship, one of the things I like to think about in a relationship is how can you be single in a relationship? Because you've got two people, and most of us have this idea that we have to give up being who we are to be in a relationship versus
Hmm.
what if you find your partner that wants to love you, support you, and wants you to thrive. Like you don't give up anything to be in a relationship. You're there because you love each other and you want each other to thrive and grow and
Hmm.
appreciate each other. Like if you have that relationship with your money and you pick up all those things and you start to feel freedom, you start to feel autonomy and power, and you start to feel
Hmm.
trusting and security. I started to develop all of that and I started to see that it made a huge difference in my relationships.
So when you started to develop those things, and let's say somebody's listening to this and they're not aware of those things that you started to develop, what were those things one more time again for those that will be listening and watching this later?
Power, freedom, autonomy, trust, and security.
So once you started developing those things for yourself, is that what you meant? Correct me
Yes.
if I'm wrong. Yeah.
Yes. I started
Then you
doing
lay,
that through. Yep.
no, go ahead, please. Go ahead. You're the
No,
diva girl, so go ahead and go ahead. Just cut me off. I'm just the co-host. Go ahead.
I don't know if people realize like that's the thing you do when you work with money. Most of us think it's about getting something, getting our retirement, getting our home, or most often just getting out of debt. But when you clean up your actual relationship with money, that's the inner work that grows with you. And the outer work, when you have all that, you have no money or all lots of money. You can't take that away from you,
Got it.
that inner work.
So can that process, can those elements that you started developing and working on and the ones you talk about now, can those things be interrupted? Can they be stunted if a person, well, had a bad relationship with a sibling, with a parent, with themselves? If they have a bad relationship with themselves, does it make it challenging or almost, well, difficult or impossible
Yeah,
to have
for
that kind of
sure.
a mindset with money?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. That's the thing that's the whole reason I chose to become a money mindset coach because not only do those things interrupt your money and your relationship with money and your flow with money, and money is a creative source. That's another thing that comes up I didn't mention. Creativity is when you're healthy there. But what happens is that we have that trauma, and then we live in a culture where it's not polite to talk about money. So how are you going to find the words to overcome that trauma and get healthy there?
So
That's
if a person
why
has,
I
if
decided.
a person, say that again, please.
I said that's why I decided to become a money mindset coach. I wanted to give words. I wanted to give power. I wanted to give healing to that for people and their money.
If a person is in a situation where financial abuse has happened, that's usually the second or third thing that happens, or whatever it may be, number that may be, second, third, fourth, fifth. That's not the first thing that happened. Emotional abuse is probably what happened first.
Yes. Yes.
Somewhere then we need to do the search, or we need to figure out how to deal with the trauma of the emotional abuse to unlock our creativity and true potential to be able to, well, make, grow, find, and develop the money that we need to sustain our life.
Mm-hmm.
But we can't do that then if we have not dealt with the trauma. Is that what you're highlighting?
Yes, absolutely. You said that's absolutely it. I mean, think of it. If you're enduring narcissistic abuse, um, and you don't have any autonomy, it's like you don't have I mean, you're constantly invalidated for your choices and your opinions. How how and money is neutral. It's paper. It represents our choices, our opinions, and our values. And when you're constantly being gaslighted,
Mm.
about what's important to you, and constantly being said that no, what you think, something else should be important. My needs should be more important. Everything else is more important than whatever you want. But your money, it's like a life force energy that you get to send it out into the world with your heart's intention and your values behind it. And so it's a wonderful thing. But if you've been so disowned from that because you felt like you're not allowed to have a say,
Mhm.
how if you don't know that at all, so how would it come and manifest with money?
So we're talking about our personality, our values, our beliefs can be tied into our money just as surely as our insecurity and lack of self-worth and low self-esteem can be tied into it. And whatever investment we put into either high self-esteem, low self-esteem is pretty much the return we're going to get on our money.
Absolutely. Money's neutral and it just shows up to show you what you're putting into it.
Right. So when
Absolutely.
we feel lackluster because we are still working on issues that have not been resolved emotionally, then it's going to show itself up in our creativity or lack thereof when it's time for us to make the necessary funds to take care of ourselves or the loved ones we have.
Absolutely. In fact, I often think that debt is synonymous with self-doubt. And one of the ways I say that is I have a friend who grew up with a really positive money mindset. And she
Hmm.
just is all about, like, there's money. I can do this. I can do this. She just like creates all of this stuff and she starts planning for it. Myself, when I look back on my patterns, I would not wait for money to store. I would be afraid because it was a fight and I wouldn't have it, or it would even get stolen from me. That I would not venture to feel powerful and safe enough to save money for a dream. What I would do instead is, let's put that dream on a credit card and then let's work like a slave for the money to pay it off.
uh, you know, you know, there are tons of people, if not maybe millions, who live their life just like that. That they've got to have some master over them, and if it's not
Mm-hmm.
a boss, it's a credit card, uh,
Exactly.
or in other words, debt.
Mm-hmm.
But to live their life where money is stored for the purpose of being reinvested is not common for people to live like that. Most people think that's strange, that they have to go
Right.
spend it. and they don't understand the difference between spending and investing.
Yeah, exactly. You're investing in you. And the thing of it is that we make it mean because we have debt that there's a character flaw. That's what we tend to do. And then we tend to
Of
use
course.
that as a
Yes.
way to beat
Hmm.
ourselves up for it,
Hmm.
which just causes more problems. For instance, we want to buffer against those feelings by going out to have drinks, overspending. When we feel less than, we spend more than. This bag will make me feel better. This
Right.
this outfit will make me feel better. This car will make me feel better. So then it perpetuates the problem.
Where the actual either emotional abuse or the emotional deficiency that someone uh, put on us, or they made us feel deficient, or they treated us in a deficient way. Instead of tackling that, we start plugging in to the green stuff or to overeating or to over worrying, overthinking, over analyzing,
Mhm.
over
Overworking.
binging, we overworking, we start doing all those things instead of you said something in the first segment. You you got to sit with your feelings of shame and guilt.
Mhm.
You tried to make it a point to sit with it. You weren't being gaslit by your mom anymore because she wasn't living with you.
Mhm.
You're in the house by yourself and you were gaslighting yourself. Can a person financially gaslight themselves because they were emotionally gaslit?
Oh, totally. They do it all the time. I still find myself doing it, like on new
Hmm.
levels. It's like, oh, there it is
On
lurking
new
again.
levels? Okay, what do you mean new levels? On new levels, what do you mean?
Well, so, I guess technically speaking, if I keep doing the work that I'm doing and getting and more and more with the flow, money is a flow like emotions. Like the best way to make money is to feel your emotions. That's why I'm willing to sit there and feel shame so that shame is not my master anymore.
Right.
We're
You're
friends.
okay. So you so, oh, said no, no. You got to hashtag that. I don't know how you're gonna word that, but you and Shame are friends. That hashtag Shame me. I don't know how to say that. Somebody will come up with it that will watch this later and probably write me and tell me because people do that kind of stuff. So mastering the shame
Mm-hmm.
means then that you're not spending money out of shame or guilt.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, right.
There's no knee-jerk reaction that I got to go do this to feel better because I feel shame because I set up a boundary and I don't want those people to not like me because I'm in people pleaser mode. And before you know it, that people pleasing mode has now cost you a few $100s because you spent money that you didn't really need to spend if you just tackled the people pleasing mindset.
Mm-hmm. So, can I offer my people pleasing tackling thought?
You can do as you wish, but I'm going to say this before you do it. You can do it as you wish because I told you you're the diva for the day. Okay, so this is the way it works here on these particular segments, this episode with April. Um, April, internet wise, the picture may not be for some of you, or I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm looking back at it on my monitor as playback as we're doing this live. If for some reason she looks blurry, I look blurry, enjoy the audio, but you're missing out because not because of me, but because she is exceptionally a very beautiful person delivering the messages that you hear today. But go to her page. Her page is money underscore mindset underscore coach. That's money underscore mindset underscore coach. Tell us what you were about to share with us right now before I mention those things.
So people pleasing, we can really be in the mode where we need to people please. And the thought I like to offer myself to come back to me is,
Mhm.
can I let them be wrong about me? Like we get
Okay, you need to
fixated on being
hashtag
right.
that one. You need to hashtag that one then. Say that again. What did you say? I'm writing it down. Say it again.
Can I let them be wrong about me?
I love that. Oh, that's
Think of
beautiful.
how much of our energy goes into convincing people. Not first of all, we compromise ourselves in the worst ways to bend over backwards and please somebody So that is like toxic for us, for our own well-being. And so, and then when it comes to like, we worry that what people will think of me. Like I used to spend money because I would worry that people would think I was very poor. And then I would feel like, and they're going to judge me a bunch of other things with that. Not being good enough, not being smart enough. And so I
Right.
wanted to look like I was well-to-do or that I came from middle class. But in so doing that, I won't do that anymore. So what if they think I'm poor? Can I let them be wrong about me?
Now, when you do that, when you have that mindset and you display that mindset, what has been the ripple effect? What have been the benefits that you've recognized internally or maybe even externally when you go with that? Letting someone go ahead and be wrong about you because you know the facts and who you really are.
Yeah, it goes on so many layers. First of all, I've got my own back. I'm not compromising any of my being to
Yeah.
prove what I am to somebody else.
Hmm.
So I've got my own back. I've got a lot of extra energy. Do you know how much energy, like if you could just retreat all the energy that we
Uh,
expend in trying to prove ourselves to somebody else? Like I've gotten to a point that I'm just like, I can't lend over energy to convince anybody of anything. It's just, it's
okay, that
exhausting.
you need, I see a book in there or something. I don't know what it is, but everything you're saying, I don't know if it's an ebook at 29.99 or 99 cents. You decide whatever you want to charge it, but there needs to be something. You need to take like a hiatus for like 7 months and go write something or do it. I don't know, but that is excellent advice that you're giving, based upon a number of things that people write me. They're going to, and I know who some of them are. I'm going to put a little pin into this, to them, that they watch this, that what you just said. They needed to hear what you just said, and when they look back at this. When it comes to dealing with emotional abuse, the narcissist, or financial abuse, any type of abuse, it can have a profound effect the way we see ourselves and the way we interact with money.
Mhm.
But when it comes to having a relationship with someone, what, not trying to take away from the money subject, but speaking mindset,
Mhm.
what has been helpful to you in your mindset when it comes to trying to interact with the opposite sex to have a relationship, a long-term relationship? What mindset has proved to be something, well, that you've noticed that people need to have?
Um, the mindset needs to be focused on what you want constantly, over and over and over again, and trusting that your want match will show up. So, to give a good example of this is that, again, kind of in previous conversations here, you've heard me say it's hard for me to ask for what I want. I feel incredibly selfish.
Hmm.
And so I had an experience where, asking for what I want, and the response back to me was, well, now I feel like I just can't be myself. And I was asking for a little bit of
Mm.
space. I wanted to take things a little bit slower. I'm very
Hmm.
upfront. I want to communicate well. I don't want to be standoffish. The way to bridge the gap is to say what I need. I need a little bit more space, and
Hmm.
take things really slowly. And it was received as he was thinking I was telling him that he can't just be himself and be like way into me, or too much too fast, right? But when I think about like trust, and my job is to stay in my want lane, and I was saying I want to trust him. That's what I want. I know I want a partner I can trust. And if I stay in my want lane and wait for that person to meet me, that person's response will be, they'll be excited. They'll be like, she's telling me what she wants so that she'll
Right, right,
trust me.
correct.
He'll be like, we want the
Hmm.
same thing. She wants to trust me, and I want her to trust me. He would see that
Hmm.
as great information that I was giving him
Instead
versus
of, if, versus what? Go ahead. You were going to say, please.
probably what what you were going to say, versus I have to give up being who I am to be in this relationship. Like this,
It sounds so much better coming from you, though. But essentially, instead of having happy feet and he wants to run away because you're telling him your want, obviously that wasn't his want, which means that makes it challenging for you to want him.
yes, yes. But I was basically telling them, this is what I
No,
want,
no, you giving
and
them a heads up.
here's how I will want you.
No, no, I know. I was gonna get to. I was gonna get to that. I went on him first. But you're doing a solid. You doing good. You telling him right up front. Which, okay, for the record, men, or let's just say women, know this about men. The mature man wants that. He's not. A partner tells you right up front, and no silent treatment, no games, no emotional,
Yeah.
games. Just and a mature man's gonna go like, oh, okay, all right. So what we're talking about, because that's what you do when you're building something.
Mm-hmm.
When the construction company wants to go to work for the owner of the property, they talk. They tell each other what they want. So
Mm-hmm. That's right.
so so somebody
And
has the land and somebody has the lumber. So the two come together and communicate, and when they get done on their own timetable, they they produce a fine structure. But in a
yeah,
relationship, you did that, and you obviously were not talking to somebody who was ready to build at your pace.
yeah, yeah, right.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel valued. Like the person that values me is going to value my experience.
Yeah.
And I'm not shy. I don't go into like a whole background. Let me tell you all about my mom and you need to treat me special. It's not like that.
you, you start talking about, well, let me tell you how I got started in building and all these awful experiences that I had when I
Right.
hit my
No.
finger with the hammer. And let me tell you, and you're like scaring the person away. No, you're
Right.
being balanced and you're waiting for the right time to do as you see fit.
Yeah,
All
it
of
might
these
be we need to
situations.
wait for the land to dry to put the foundation in or something, right?
Oh man, way to go! Hey, that's a good analogy. Where'd you get that from? So, so the bottom line is that, well, let's see, who's got the lumber and who's got the land in this thing here. Does the woman have the lumber or does the man have? Let's go with this. Let's say the man has the land and he wants to put up a structure, a
Mm-hmm.
building, a structure to show all of his other friends, see, I chose the right, construction company to come and work with me, and we work together and we put this up. And the woman is the construction company. She has all these different things that are necessary to build something with that man. And if he's in a hurry, he's losing out.
Yeah,
He's going to
exactly.
lose the nails. He's going to lose the cement, all the things. She's
Yeah.
bringing all that stuff in to help build. He's got to have some type of architectural plan and have a timetable. If he doesn't have a timetable and an architectural plan, he's worthless because he's just got land. Everybody's got
Well,
land. So he's just
and
like
maybe
everybody
even
else.
just simply like
I
when
just
I
made
got
that
new,
up, everybody. I just made that. Go
which
ahead.
is
Go ahead. I don't
fantastic.
know what we're
And
doing,
I
but
just
go
had
ahead.
new flooring put in. So this is simple, but even when I had new flooring put in, the company said it was in the garage when it was in the winter, and they said you have to bring
Yes.
it in to acclimate. So
Yes.
it's just the way it
Yes.
is. This is the wood. You want it to go in, you need to have it acclimate. This
Yeah.
is me.
Yeah.
You want me. This is
Yeah.
what comes with
Oh yeah.
me. I need some
Yeah.
time to acclimate.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to need to take a commercial break, but I got to say this excellent description and example that you just gave right there when it comes to what we're talking about. I know everybody, first segment, we talked about mindset. We touched on relationships, money, a little background in regards to April. We're talking a little bit more now about different aspects, but we never got to that. Did we get to the one question? I don't remember. This was going so good with you. To me, it is going so good. We were just talking about. I forgot what we were talking about. So, was there one question that people are supposed to ask before they buy? We're going to touch on that one more time because I'm going to need you to come back. We're going to take a commercial break. We're going to come right back. But I do want to say this: if in a relationship we cannot acclimate to who we're dealing with, then we're not the right type of material to build with that particular person.
Mm-hmm.
we have to be the right material for that person. If not, well, there's a pretty good chance that the structure is not going to have a good foundation, let alone it's not going to be a good structure. So thank you for touching on those things. I had no idea we were going to go down that road, but we just did because we can. All right, so I had fun doing that in the first segment as well. Let's get to our third segment, the last segment of the day. April's going to come back in just a little bit, and we'll talk a little bit more. Oh, April, I didn't see you right there. Okay, so April, I'll see you in just a little bit. Bye for now, everybody. We'll be back in a little bit.